You're 26 years old, and you're eating a sandwich you made at home in a break room that smells like burnt coffee and someone else's ambition, and the guy across from you just got back from Vegas and won't stop talking about it. He dropped $3,000 in a weekend, and he's telling the story like it's a credential. You nod. You don't tell him that $3,000 is exactly what you moved into your brokerage account this morning before you left the apartment. You don't tell anyone that. There's nothing to tell yet. No win, no story, no Vegas. Just a number moving from one column to another before you were fully awake. Same as last month, same as the month before. You make $48,000 a year. You live on $31,000 of it. The difference doesn't feel like discipline from the inside. It feels like a low-grade refusal. A quiet no to 100 things that would have been fine. You don't drive the new car. You don't do the trip. You don't do the round of drinks when it's not your round. Nobody is watching. Nobody is impressed. Nobody is keeping score. That's the part they never make a movie about. The years that look like nothing from the outside. The coworker heading to Vegas will make more than you this year. He'll still be talking about that trip when you're done. Level 2. The boring investor. You're 31 and your portfolio just crossed $80,000 and you tell nobody. Not your girlfriend, not your parents, not the friend who keeps forwarding you crypto opportunities with fire emojis. You found 3 funds, you set them to automatic, and you have not touched them in 4 years. That's the whole strategy. Boring on purpose. You learned early that exciting investments are exciting the way a car crash is exciting, briefly, loudly, and at your expense. The $80,000 doesn't feel like $80,000. It feels like a number on a screen you check twice a month the way you check your blood pressure. Not for good news, just to make sure nothing is wrong. The market drops 11% one March, and your girlfriend sees your face while you check your phone and asks if everything is okay. Fine, you say, and you mean it. You don't sell. You don't call anyone. You open a book. This is the part that separates the people who end up with money from the people who end up with stories about the money they almost had. Not intelligence, not income, not timing. Just the ability to sit in a room with a bad number and do absolutely nothing. The coworker from the break room has a new truck. He asks if you want to go in on a sports bar his cousin is opening. You decline. He says you're too careful. He means it as an insult. You write it down in your notes app as a compliment and forget about it until the sports bar closes in 14 months. Level 3. The secret net worth. You're 36. The number is $280,000 and it crossed that while you were at the dentist. You found out in the waiting room and the hygienist asked if you were okay because you'd gone quiet. You said your tooth hurt. The number doesn't change anything visible. Same apartment. You moved once, into a slightly bigger one in the same neighborhood. Same car, 4 years older now, paid off. Same job, 2 titles higher, $74,000. You got a raise and increased your automatic transfer the same week, same day, same hour, so the lifestyle never caught up to the income. Which is the entire trick, and almost nobody does it, because the lifestyle is right there, waiting, the moment the paycheck gets bigger. Your parents ask when you're going to buy a house, get serious, start building something. You smile. You're not ready to explain that building something is already happening inside an account they don't know exists, one boring month at a time. Nobody throws a party for this. There's no moment. You don't ring a bell. The number just moves. Quietly, like a river nobody's standing next to. A college friend posts his new kitchen renovation, $60,000 in countertops. He financed it. You like the photo. You close the app. Level 4, the underspender. You're 41, $610,000. You know what compound interest actually means now. Not the definition, the feeling. You can see the shape of it in your own statements. The money is making more than your job is. That sentence takes a minute to land the first time. You've been the one making the money your entire adult life, and now there's a version of it running parallel to you. Quiet, building while you sleep, while you sit in traffic, while you eat the sandwich. Your girlfriend, now your wife, knows the number. You showed her the night you crossed $500,000 because it felt like something that deserved a witness. She was quiet for a moment, then said, "You've been carrying this alone for 15 years. You didn't have a word for what that felt like. You still don't. Her family thinks you're frugal. Frugal is the word people use for you when they're being polite. The real word they use is cheap. You drive the same car. You didn't do the destination wedding. You split the check evenly and quietly do the math on your side of it. They don't know you could buy the restaurant. You're not going to tell them. The moment you tell people, the number stops being yours. It becomes a thing they hold against you or hold out their hands toward, and you've watched that happen to enough people to know you're not ready for it. Level 5. The first million. You're 44. You check one Tuesday morning, not a special Tuesday, just a Tuesday, and the number has crossed $1,000. You put the phone down, you make your coffee, you go to work. You tell your wife that night, over dinner she cooked in a kitchen with the same countertops it's had for 6 years. She puts her fork down and looks at you for a long moment. "That's it?" she says. "That's it," you say. You both know it isn't. It's everything. It's 18 years of sandwiches in break rooms. It's 18 years of watching other people go to Vegas and nodding. It's the truck you didn't buy, the renovation you didn't finance, the sports bar you didn't invest in. It's the dentist waiting room and the market crash you didn't flinch at. But it doesn't look like any of that from the outside. From the outside, it looks like a number on a Tuesday. You call no one. The co-worker from the break room, different job now, you looked him up once, is on his third truck and a payment plan for his second debt consolidation. He posts gym photos with motivational quotes about hustle. You double like nothing. That night, lying awake, your wife asks what you want to do with it, and you realize you have never once thought past the number to the answer to that question. The goal was the goal. You reached it. The finish line had no tape. Level 6, the quiet exit. You're 51, $2.1 million. You leave the job not with a party or a press release or a dramatic resignation. You just stop renewing. You tell your manager with 2 weeks' notice on a Thursday, and she says she'll send an email, and the email goes out with your name in it, and 3 people reply with kind words, and by Monday, you're gone. Nobody names a conference room after you. You don't want them to. You drive home in the same car, which is now 11 years old, and you sit in the driveway for a while before going inside. No one in the neighborhood knows. No one at your wife's book club knows. The guy 2 doors down who pressure washes his driveway every Saturday morning and owns a boat he never takes out. He doesn't know. They all think you work. You still wake up at 6 because that's when your body wakes up. You make coffee. You read. You take the long walk you always told yourself you'd take when you had time. For the first 6 months, every Monday morning feels like something you forgot. Then it passes. You start filling the time with things that have no return on investment. A garden, A woodworking class where you are the worst student and don't care. Long phone calls with your wife's father who never had money and never seems to have noticed. He's the happiest man you know. You think about that. Level 7. The invisible rich. You're 58. $3.4 million. The number grows without your help now, which is still strange to feel. You live in the same house. You bought it at 46, the one purchase that ever felt large. A normal house in a normal neighborhood with a yard big enough for the garden. Your car is 3 years old. People who know you think you're comfortable. People who know you well think you're doing okay. Nobody thinks what you are, which is exactly what you always wanted. A nephew comes to you at a family dinner, 24, bright, a little lost, a job he hates, and a dream he's embarrassed to say out loud. He slides his phone across the table to show you a business idea, the way men have been sliding things across tables since before either of you were born. You don't laugh. You ask him 3 questions about the numbers. You tell him what's wrong with it and what isn't. Then you tell him to fix the wrong parts and come back. He looks at you like you're the first adult who's taken him seriously. You understand that look. You've been carrying it since a break room in 2003. You don't give him money that night. You give him the only thing that actually helped you. The next question to answer. He'll be back. You'll be here. Level 8. The inheritance you didn't expect to leave. You're 67. You don't know the exact number anymore. Not because you stopped watching, but because it stopped being the point somewhere around 62, and you can't name the exact Tuesday it happened. The accounts are structured now, named in documents, handled by people who use words like irrevocable and generational. Your wife jokes that you've finally let other people do the boring parts. You're still boring, you tell her. She says she knows. She means it as the highest compliment. Your nephew's company just raised its first real round. He calls you before he calls anyone else. He doesn't know about the money, the full number, the documents, the structure. He just knows you're the one who asked the right question at the right dinner. Nana always said 6 words. Your wife says 4. On a Sunday morning in the garden, not prompted by anything, not a birthday or an anniversary or a number crossing a threshold, she looks up and says, "You did something real." You think about the break room. You think about the guy with the Vegas story. You think about the scratch-off tickets you never bought and the truck you never financed and the sports bar you never touched and every quiet Tuesday morning that looked like nothing from the outside and was everything from the inside. You don't say any of that. You just nod. The garden doesn't know. The market doesn't know. Nobody is keeping score. You did it anyway.